What's up everyone? So the focus of today's video is on the beautiful tarantula that is in here, which is my Aphonopelma seemanni, or Costa Rican zebra tarantula. So she is currently being housed in this extra large invertarium style thing, which for an adult female of this species is perfectly fine, but we are going to be rehousing her into this enclosure, which is a 25 by 25 by 30 centimeter tall enclosure, and it basically will just look a little bit better than this enclosure, give her a bit more room for substrate depth, a bit more room to burrow. So let's not waste any more time and take a look at this fab spider. So this is her setup in here, and she will just be under the cork bark back there. She's dug a little bit of a burrow, so that's one of the reasons why we are going to be giving her a bit more room. So I'm just going to gently lift this piece of cork bark up. There we go. What a beautiful spider she is. So, as the name suggests, this species comes from Costa Rica and other neighbouring parts of Central America. They come from areas that tend to be slightly warmer and slightly drier than other tropical areas. So, I've got her in a setup which has a moist end over here where the live plant is and her water dish is, which I overfill. And over on the end where she is, it's a little bit drier. I tend to avoid dampening the substrate over here. When they get to adulthood, you can either keep them half damp and half dry, or all dry if you want, and just with a water dish. They seem to fare quite well with an all dry setup, although she sometimes will wander over to this moist part here, as I have seen her drink before, so that's why I tend to keep this side of her enclosure nice and moist. The optimum temperature for these species is between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius. Even when you're keeping them at that temperature with no extreme heat, they will burrow, so we are going to put her into a deeper enclosure with more substrate. So the first thing we are going to do is get her nice and gently into a little container so we can transfer her substrate and everything from in here over to the new enclosure without her getting too stressed. There we go. So she is she's ran onto my hand now. Not what we wanted. Just go in there, lovely. So we just want to be super careful. We don't want her to... Oh, gone onto my hand again. Right, I don't know how we're going to do this. Bear with me. Okay, she's gone onto my hand. And we want her to be nice and gentle. So we're going to pop the lid on. Keep her nice and contained in there. There we go. So that wasn't too bad, but you see there that they are prone to moving a little bit faster than other species of their genus. They're really overlooked as well, because this species seems to have become one of the most common tarantulas kept in the hobby now. They have definitely kind of replaced the Grammostola rosea and pulchra and species like that, which used to be common. And now these are definitely up there amongst the most commonly kept species. Most of the individuals are wild caught from the Americas, but like the rosea, it's likely that this species will come under some sort of protection in the future, so they may not be as common in 10 years than what they are now. So we're going to start and get her new enclosure ready. Now, you shouldn't really keep a terrestrial in an enclosure that's taller than it is wide, but because this is a burrowing species, most of this, about half of it, 6 inches or so, is going to be filled up with substrate, so the end product, there won't be that much room between the roof and the substrate. So now all the decor is out, we are just going to tip the substrate that's in here, hopefully all into the new enclosure without it falling everywhere. There we go, so that's probably as good as we're getting. That should do, actually. There should be nice depth of substrate in there. I might add a couple more inches just to the top, maybe just an inch or so, just to give her more room. We're going to drop in a bit of sphagnum moss just in one corner. And we're also going to add her water dish into that area as well. So there we go, that's the water dish in. We're going to add the skull just there. And then her little bit of cork bark. So, there we go. I think we're going to leave it there. She will probably burrow down again into the substrate. I think we're going to forget about a live plant because it's not doing very well in the enclosure. I don't know if she's trashing it or it's just not happy with the environment, but we're just going to leave it as it is, just like that, and I think that'll do her nicely. So, last thing to add is the spider herself. So, here's one I made earlier. Gently just encourage her into there. Oh, there we go. A little bit speedy, but she's okay. But yeah, overall, this is a gorgeous species of tarantula. Absolutely lovely. I absolutely love this species. There's striking stripes on their knees. She's gorgeous. Food-wise, they're not picky. I usually feed my girl here doobie roaches. You can feed crickets, the odd mealworm, anything like spiderlings should be fed either fruit flies or pre-killed small crickets. Juveniles can take small crickets, small locusts, small roaches, things like that. They do generally have a good feeding response, although like I mentioned, they can fast for long periods. So, I think I've covered... Oh, off again. I think I've covered everything I need to cover.